Hi everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel today. We are going to put together this adorable 3D Sliceform pop-up truck card. I've got it in lots of different themes and variations. This one's a cute present variation. Let me show you some of the other ones that I have designed. This one is a Happy Mother's Day variation. It's got flowers on the front, and when you open it up, that cute little pickup truck is full of flowers. Isn't that fun? You can certainly change the sentiments on the front of these by deleting the sentiments that's there and adding something of your own, or using a stamp, or completely leaving the sentiment off, whatever you would like to do. We've got a cute star version that says Happy 4th of July. You could change this to Veterans Day, Memorial Day, President's Day, Labor Day, something a little more patriotic if you don't want to use it for 4th of July. Or if you're in another country, you can change it to a local holiday for you. Happy Father's Day. This one's got some sports themes. The one that's in it right now has a baseball. And let me just show you how easy these are to swap out. You can just take that center layer and just pull that out and replace it with another variation. This one's a football, and you just slide it in into those grooves, and all of a sudden you have a whole new theme. So these are all swappable. You can interchange them as desired. You can change the sentiments. Like I showed you, we have a football, baseball, and a basketball version. Those would also make really cute baby boy cards. Here's a Let's Celebrate with some cute balloons, and the strings are also part of the print and cut. And when you open it, you have this darling truck full of balloons. That'd be cute to do for graduation or any type of celebration. You just need to change the sentiment. Well, actually, Let's Celebrate works great for graduation. You could just vary the colors for like a graduate's school colors or something like that. You can see that they all fit into an A2 envelope, so that makes them nice and handy. I like to go get a pack of A2 envelopes at my local craft store and just have those on hand for my card making. This one says Happy Autumn with a beautiful sunflower on the front. And when you open it, there's a darling little truck full of pumpkins. That'll be super handy in the fall. We have one that has hearts on it. It says Happy Valentine's Day, but it would be perfect for an anniversary or a wedding, something like that. Let's move on. We have Easter just around the corner. This one's got an Easter basket full of eggs and a truck full of eggs. Perfect. So cute. So be thinking what you can do as these holidays are coming up. We also have St. Patrick's Day just around the corner. This one's featuring some shamrocks on the outside and in the truck inside. So much fun. And Halloween. We've got this darling little cluster of ghost and pumpkin with a happy Halloween sentiment, and the same little ghost and pumpkin inside that cute little black truck. You can see all the variety of colors of trucks that we've put in each of these cards. You can go to town having fun making these cards your own. So we're going to put together this one that has a Christmas theme. It has a little Christmas tree inside. I'm going to go over each of the pieces and where they go and how to put them together. The very easiest piece to put together is this centerpiece. It's the one that we swapped out on that baseball, basketball, football one earlier. And this one has a tree on it. The tree is part of the red cutout, so you're just going to layer this green tree right on top, and that piece is completely done. So there's a tree for the front and the back. These two pieces are going to be covering panels. If you'll notice on our little trucks, the inside is blue and the outside is blue, but our base layer is black. So if you want the truck to look blue on all the layers, instead of seeing the back of these layers be black, I've given you that extra layer to put on the back side. So if you want to simplify how these are cut out, you could certainly do so. You don't have to use the bumper pieces or the fender pieces or the door pieces. You could just use the basic truck shape. If you're mass producing them, for instance, that might be a little more of a challenge to add that many. So let's go back and look at one of these and how they're put together. You notice there's a little slit tab here. This is a new way of putting together the Sliceform card. My last method used little clips which I thought worked fabulously. They're a little bit tedious to get in place, but once they're there, it's a sturdy card. It doesn't fall apart. It works really well. This one uses a little slit in the base and little tabs on the wheels here. And I'm going to show you how to put that together. I like this method as well. It works really well. It's maybe a little simpler to put together, but maybe not quite as sturdy. You might have to reinforce these pieces if they get a little bit weak after opening and closing it a lot. So far, I haven't had any trouble with that, but I can see where that would be maybe the weak point. Let's look at the front of this card really quick. I have already printed the sentiment and adhered the wreath and the tiny little berries to the front. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. By looking at the pictures, you should be able to assemble your card fronts for each of the styles. Also, inside the file that I give you, they are layered the way they're intended to be put together. So if you have any trouble putting those together, just reference that photo when you purchase the file on the thumbnail. Okay, so if you'll notice, these half moon pieces are oriented with the slit on the lower part of the left slit of the left moon and the upper part of the right moon. And when you look closely, you'll see that the front of this truck is oriented in this direction towards the top. If you want to orient yours differently, or you want to play around with it and have your card open up where the truck is facing the other way, you can do that. I was intending them to face this direction. So if you want to match mine, you're going to want the top over here and the bottom over here. Okay, and just be very careful as you're putting your truck together. So you're going to want the front of your truck to have the tab on the front wheel. So this one will be our front truck. And on the back of the truck, you want the tab oriented on the back wheel. So if you'll notice, I have mine laid out. This will be our back. This will be our front. And you just want to make sure you don't get one of them flipped or your card's not going to work right. So make sure you have one front oriented, one back oriented, and your tab is folding in the proper direction. If you got it all flipped upside down with the tab pointing this way, it would not work. You've got to have it right facing with the front tab on the front wheel. Okay, hopefully that all makes sense. I'm going to just show you really quick how to put these together. The first thing you're going to do is put this back red layer. I'm just going to move that card base out of the way for a moment while we assemble our truck. You're going to take this back layer and glue that down to the black base. So I'm just flipping that over, putting a little adhesive on this. Might be easier to use liquid adhesive on those little pieces, in those little sections anyways. You'll just want to line that up so that it layers right where the window lines up. Another advantage of liquid is you have a little wiggle room when you set it down. Okay, I think we did pretty good. So that's how that bottom layer goes on. Now I'm going to use some liquid adhesive and put the front fender and the back fender on. These fenders I'm sorry, I keep calling them fenders. They need to be bumpers. These bumpers are kind of optional. You could just have the black show through and that would be just fine. But I've given them to you so you can make these trucks as detailed or not detailed as you want. It's totally up to you. But I did want to give you those pieces just in case. They're cute, but they're kind of small. You'll probably want something like this pick-me-up tool or tweezers to put those in place. Once those are on, we need to put the door on, and it goes in an orientation with this part matching up with the wheel well, and this long piece is straight with the back of the door. Okay, so match that up with the window and that door and the wheel. And now we are going to put these fenders in place, and I'm going to use my liquid adhesive for that. Turning those over, putting those in place. Yep. And there we have our little truck completely assembled. That wasn't too bad. And now if you want the back of your truck to look assembled as well, you need to layer that up. If you want to simplify this card and you don't want to put all of these layers on the back, you would not have to. Again, if you're mass producing it, maybe you want to eliminate some of the work and you could just eliminate all this layering. You don't really see the back of it too much when you open that card, but I think it's really cute. So I wanted to show you how to go ahead and show it on both sides if you'd like to. Okay, so remember on this one, we want our back wheel with our tab facing towards us. Don't get it oriented the other way. So again, let's take a look at our back of our card. Here it is. We want it to be oriented this direction, so it can go in that hole that's going to be on that part of our card. So don't flip it. How do I keep warning you about this? Why am I warning you about it? Well, guess what? I did it wrong once and I didn't want you to repeat my mistake. Okay, let's use tape runner. I think this is one of those cards that once you do it once, it is going to get easier every time. So if you have trouble with your very first one, don't give up. Just try again till you master it. Okay, there's the back piece. And we need our little bumpers. And those little bumper pieces are tiny, and I apologize. Leave them off if they're too big of a hassle to work with. And our door is going to go right here. And then last but not least, we have our fenders. And I feel like we need to just give everything a good press. Let it dry. Okay, so there we have our front and our back. Let's flip both of them over and we'll put on our covering panels for the back. Again, this is just so you don't see that black showing through as your 3D card is popped up. Okay, and we're just gonna let that dry for a minute. In fact, I'm gonna set it under something heavy for just a moment. And I'm going to do the other side. It's going to go that way. So let's get the adhesive on the correct side. I'm going to actually use tape runner on this so it doesn't have to dry as long. So you can see if you didn't want to put those bumpers on, you'd just see the little black tips hanging out just like on the inside. So that's the front. They look really cute once they're on. Okay, so let's start putting our card together. So we're going to take, and I'm going to again use one that we've already put together as an example. This front wheel is going to go into this top hole here. So just pay close attention as you put the front of your truck into that front hole on the base, and then you want to pull that through until you can fold it back on itself so that it goes into that hole and it's straight at the seam and it's all the way down to the seam. And then we're going to glue it back on itself right in here. So I'm going to lay it down and lay it flat. Put some tape runner on that and just fold it back over just like that. So you want to get that angle just right so that your card works as neatly as possible. You want it to lay flat and you want it to pop up at the right angle. Okay, so the other piece we had over here is drying a little bit. I think it's dry now. And we're going to put that one in this orientation. So you can see how our card's kind of coming together. So this tab is going to go through the hole on that half moon base. And then you're going to fold that back on itself. Make sure everything's nice and square. And I'm going to lay it down, open that tab, use a little tape runner. It's an awkward angle, sorry about that. And then fold that tab down, and we have our base kind of coming together. Okay, at this point we need to start using our connector pieces. So you'll want to slide a connector piece into that back wheel well over here, and slide a connector piece into this front wheel up here. It might help to just kind of hold it flat. Okay, so now we just have to get this put together. So I'm going to take the back wheel over here and slide it into the front slot. So you've got, it looks like this. You've got one slot here and one here, and they're coming up from the bottom, and you have one through the middle where we're going to insert our tree layer. Okay, so on this one, again, we just need to get that front wheel into that front slot, and there we have it. So that's kind of how our card is looking so far. Okay, so now let's take our center piece and slide that in, that center groove, and we have it. Now we're going to, the very first time you fold it flat, it's a little bit awkward. Let's see. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so now we're going to kind of line those up the best that we can. And that should be our closed position. And we're going to put adhesive on one side. It is a little bit awkward that first time of opening and closing it, but then once you get the mechanism working good, it does good. And you want, if you'll notice, you'll want about a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch away from the middle line and then centered vertically. So I'm going to move it over a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch. Oh, now hold on. Before I put this in, I want my truck oriented the right way. So I'm going to make sure the front of my card. So we're going to put it on this side. I want my truck, and you can play with it here, I want my truck to open up that way in the card. So it's a good thing I double checked that because I would have done it backwards. Okay, so good thing to remember. And then I'm going to put it on this panel here. I'm going to rotate it because I'm right-handed. It's working better from this way. I just want it to be equidistant to the top and bottom and a little more than 1/4 inch in the middle. And go ahead and put that circle down. And you can see that's what our truck's going to look like when it pops up. So now we just need to line that kind of back up where we had it. And put our adhesive on this half. And close our card. And now when we open it, we have our beautiful pop-up truck in the middle. Isn't that awesome? So there's our front, and there's our inside. So, so cute. So I hope you guys love this card style. I hope you enjoy making it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them here. If there's more themes you'd like to see me make, please drop them in the comments of this YouTube video. And if you want to see other variations with different things besides trucks inside, please let me know. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have fun with this project, and I will see you all in another video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.